Welcome to Breaking Big, where we interview people about their careers in the entertainment industry. I'm your host, Erin Neumeyer. Everyone here at Thunder Tally Media is so excited to announce that we are being featured on the Hoo Ha Ha app under the Podcast We Love section. They are on a mission to spotlight and support women in comedy. One of the ways they do that is by amplifying women's voices, like this podcast. If you haven't already, go check out the hoohaha.com website. There's so much great content there. That's where you'll find my podcast and all the other shows featured under the Podcast We Love section. And now I'd like to welcome you to Breaking Big. Hi there, welcome. I am your host, Erin Neumeyer. This episode will be broadcasting on camera on our Thunder Tally Media pages on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. So if you are listening in podcast only mode, you can always rewatch to see photos or videos there, and on Stitcher, which now offers a video option. So let's get started. This is the one with Rachel Wilson. Rachel currently serves as the Chief Strategy Officer for Filmcraft Studio Gear. She's the co-founder of Film Toys, an initiative in its fourth year, which donates toys to kids. And she was just nominated Volunteer of the Year at Children's Institute because of the work with Film Toys, and she's had such an incredible impact on them. She's also the Director of Programs for Women in Media, which is working hard to get parity in the filmmaking industry. She has years of experience in the business side of the music industry with sales, marketing, distribution, and artist relations. She really is all about being dedicated to the nonprofit organizations and foundations. And at the heart of that is her love of storytelling. She authentically loves people and is always looking for ways to elevate, connect, and support people to help them share their stories. I am so happy to have such a wonderfully talented guest on International Women's Day. Welcome to the show, Rachel.
Hi, Erin. Thank you guys so much for having me, and happy Women's Day.
Yay, happy Women's Day. Well, let's jump right in. I am curious. I know you got started in the music industry, so tell me about that.
So I got started, I was born into the music industry, I would say. My mom ran a guitar string company, and I went to my first music trade show when I was 5 years old. And I grew up around that business. I worked in a variety of roles with artists and sales, marketing, international distributors. Very fun time of my life. And that's what I'm most connected to before I entered this industry.
Yeah, I see you have guitars on the walls behind you. So
I do. Yeah, I painted that one right there.
Oh, it's what a beautiful blue.
Yes,
So you must play a little guitar as well?
People are shocked to hear this constantly since I'm around guitars and guitar strings and accessories my whole life, but I do not play guitar. I do not play guitar. I could tell you everything about the business, but I don't play. I don't play.
You're right. I am shocked.
Yes, maybe one day I'll add that to my repertoire. Maybe
I'll look, come over. I'll teach you how to make a G chord or something.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
You really only need to learn 3 and you can play a lot of songs.
Everything. Yes. Yeah. I dabbled with piano when I was young, so I do have the music ear already, but
cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, so when did you decide to move from the music industry over to the filmmaking industry?
So that started about 5 years ago. I got a call from my amazing Filmcraft partner, Joe, asking what I thought about going on an adventure with him. And Filmcraft is actually in a location that was Everly Music from the Everly Brothers. And that's a company that Joe worked with prior, that I also worked with, my mom had worked with. And he said, what do you think about doing something with director chairs? And I was completely taken aback. I didn't know what this would be like coming on this journey. And he assured me that it was going to be fun. And so the rest is history, really.
I like your philosophy. You know what I mean? It's like, well, do I want to do this? Is it going to be fun? Okay.
Well,
I think everybody should do that.
Of course, it's, you're going to have challenges, going into any new industry. But honestly, this industry, it's a lot bigger than what I dealt with in the music industry. And the same principles apply, right? It's not the business. It's never been about these chairs for me. It's never been about the chairs. It's the relationship building. And it's no different in this industry than in music. It's the same thing. And in fact, I think I meet more people in this industry than I did in music. In music, it was music company owners, musicians, tour people, concert people. In this industry, it's directors, producers, people below the line, entrepreneurs, inspirational speakers, content creators, authors, you name it. I've met them in this.
I actually have one of your Filmcraft chairs here in the background. And for anybody that's a fan of the show, you see Filmcraft is actually one of our sponsors. So, the reason why is because they're such amazing chairs. I mean, they're so wonderful. They fold down, they're portable, and you can customize everything about it. I love it so much. Actually, I think we have a clip from Filmcraft that we can share. That is such a cool video. I love how you do like the rock star pan around the chair.
Yes. Well, again, it's we're music industry folks at heart, so that had to become a part of it. And it's aspirational dreams. It's like when we worked on your canvas. I remember that entire conversation so vividly, actually. And we talked about what it was that you were doing currently, what you wanted to do. And I really feel, these are seeds of inspiration. This is aspirational dreams. So your chair is showing it. You're doing all of those things. So
that is so true. Yeah, when we talked, it was actually because I had won a competition with Women in Media, who you weren't affiliated with at the time, but now you are. We'll talk about that later. But when I won that chair, I was so excited because there's something about like sitting in a director's chair that just makes you feel official, like nobody can mess with you. You're validated by the title on the chair. You know what I mean? I love everything about it. And the other thing that I didn't know at the time was how many ways you can customize the chair. So once you get the base, you can actually like print up different canvases and different colors and things and put different, if I wanted a specialized one for my podcast, I could have it just have like the podcast logo on there or something. So, and I love that because that's not very expensive to swap those canvases out, and like the base of the chair is going to last forever. So
exactly. The chairs are lifetime, but every project, every inspiration you might have, you're like right now I don't know if you can see, but I'm in the bright pink canvas right now. And I'm keeping this on here throughout Women's History Month. And like you, people don't believe that I actually sit in this chair every day, but I do. I sit in it every day, and every day it gives me the same empowerment that I need to get through tough days and great days.
Plus, they just look kind of cool. I know this sounds like we're doing like a Filmcraft commercial, and it is true. I'm very thankful for Filmcraft's support, especially the way that you support people on, Instagram. You're just so kind and giving, and that's why I don't mind talking a little bit about your organization. It was because, like, literally, if there is someone that has, purchased a chair from you and they're talking about a project they're doing, you post it on Instagram.
Of course.
It's so wonderful.
Yeah, I want to share people's dreams, their successes. Filmcraft family is a term I coined when I started this, and I take it very seriously. I have intimate relationships with so many of the people that we work with. I support them along their journeys. Obviously, with you, we're supporting your podcast, several other podcasts, film festivals, nonprofit events. I love to meet people and I love to see them shine and showcase their talent. So again, it's never been about the chair. It's about the people in the chair.
About the stories. Yeah. And I love that. I love that so much. And I just remember when I posted something about a short film I was working on, and I was like, oh my gosh, Filmcraft just reposted my story. It's so amazing. Because it's just really exciting. A lot of what we're doing in this industry is trying to get our stories out there and to have an organization that's so happy to help amplify our voices and support in that way. It's just like, it's amazing. It's so kind. And I think that's another thing that I care about personally a lot, is like kindness in the world. It's so easy to just retweet somebody's happy moment, you know what I mean, and like do it and with like the authentic want of just support, and I just love that. So I just want to do a little shout out to you and Filmcraft, and so thank you for doing what you do. It's amazing. But you do while we're still talking about Filmcraft, I know you guys have some other cool stuff coming out.
We do. We just released our Apple boxes, which we've been working on for quite a while. I'm really excited about them. I think I told you over the phone, I was quite thrilled about an idea that came to my mind that I've seen other people do. Our Apple boxes, which are obviously set essentials, come with no branding on them. So you can put your film on there. You can grab some Sharpies and everybody can sign thank yous. It could be a commemorative item, which is very, kind of outside. A director chair is a one person thing, unless you're buying for your whole crew, which I recommend, but it's a one person thing. Everybody signing on an Apple box, dating that's everybody. That's your whole team, your whole crew, which you can't do all of this without. And that's how I feel in my daily life. I'd be nothing without the people around me that support and help me do what I do.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that. Also, don't you have like Filmcraft Junior or something? I'm trying to remember.
Yes, those just came out in December, and they are literally shrunken versions of our professional grade chair. They've got the Filmcraft hinge on them. They come in black, blue, and pink, and they're for the little storytellers out there. Ages 4 to 11 is our recommended, and obviously also small dogs and cats, and animals love our chairs. I'm sure you've seen it on our feed. My cat takes over my chair.
I lip roller to mine all the time.
Yes, mine are covered in hair. Thankfully, you can clean it off easily. That's another nice thing about our chairs. But animals absolutely love our chairs, and they're the stars of our life. So, yeah.
So working in this field that's sort of like, you're like filmmaking adjacent, right? You're in the mix in any studios that you go on. I'm sure your chairs are there, but like, what is it like? What are the like pluses and minuses of working in this field?
So I think I spoke a little about this already. For me, the biggest plus of being in this field is the people. Meeting the people, networking, getting to be a part of their journeys. I've had the opportunity to work on some other projects as well. I manage a band called The Gusted, and one of the people I met through this industry, Lane Marie Williams, is an amazing female director, and I got with her to make their first music video. So I was actually able to be a producer. She directed it. It's for a song called Girly Girl, and it was an absolute blast to do that. And I would have never known her if it weren't for being in this industry and for doing all of this. So the opportunities are aplenty of things to get involved in, including all the philanthropy that I care so much about. That takes up a lot of my time, and I enjoy it. And I would say, it's really hard to say negatives of being in this industry. I've been through so much worse in other industries. I think this industry is a lot more evolved. You're meeting creative people, and I think there's a lot of support out there if you're in the right space. And if you support other people, they're going to support you.
So for people that maybe are looking at, maybe they don't want to be a director or writer or a gaffer or something, but they like the idea of being in kind of like a support industry. Do you have any advice for them on like how to get started, or, how to find their way in that arena?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's the same with any industry you're interested in. talk to the people who are doing what you want to do. You would be amazed at the amount of people that are willing to mentor, answer questions, get you involved in what they're doing. And one opportunity can lead to another. And it's all about exploration. You got to put yourself out there. I know a lot of people are shy about those things, but it doesn't prevent you from interacting with them on social media, from sending them an email. Every journey starts somewhere. And I never think you're too old or too young to do anything that you really want in your life.
That's great advice. Yeah, I wondered if it's, challenging to like break in with a new product like the Apple boxes. I really don't know a lot about the Apple box industry. So like, if you're rolling out a new product like that, is it challenging to get people to choose your Apple box over? I've only really seen them like on Amazon. I'm always skeptical when I see the ones on Amazon. I wonder if they can hold my weight. You know what I mean? Like,
They can. They can, yes. It is, with any new product that you're putting out there, it's going to take a minute for it to catch. Obviously, even Filmcraft Junior, I was like terrified to do those because we don't focus on anything with children. But we got asked for it, so we tried it. And without trying, sometimes you try and fail, and sometimes you try and succeed. With something like an Apple box, it's a set essential. Yes, there's other competition out there. I don't think anybody else is doing unbranded boxes or giving an opportunity for you to put your own branding on there. So that's a little something different that we're doing.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. I love that idea. And I loved your idea about having people sign the boxes. That's really clever.
That's my favorite. I've seen people actually do that at events as a thank you to the people that are hosting the event. And then that person keeps that around. And then the next year they're remembering that experience and probably going to do another event with you. So it's a good strategy too.
So, well, tell me about, we talked a little bit about philanthropy already, but I know you're really involved with, I believe you started Film Toys. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so Film Toys is, I co-founded Film Toys with Jorge from Film Tools. The idea actually came, it was literally October 2019. We were at a Sony event and I asked him, do you want to change the world with me? And he said yes. So I said, all right, let's do a toy drive. And I went about searching for a nonprofit that we were going to connect to. I discovered Children's Institute, and they have 4 locations, but I hadn't heard a lot about them. And honestly, I wanted to connect with an organization that needed awareness raised for them. It's not just about the toys. I really wanted people to know about this organization because I saw a hole in this industry. I knew studios, gear companies, the people I was communicating with all the time just needed an opportunity to be able to give. And I couldn't believe the response I got the first year. People came in with just droves of toys. And, then we were hit with the pandemic. We had to go virtual. We still got a lot of support. I have made sure not to let them down. And then this past year, we partnered with an amazing organization called Project Pop Drop, and they helped elevate our drive exponentially. We brought in Mattel, Jack's Toys, some of the biggest toy stores in the world came to support what we were doing. And we did actually have bins out at Quixote Studios, at Film Tools, at Hollywood NMA, all over Los Angeles. People were collecting toys for us. So we're incredibly grateful. And next year will be our 5th year. So anybody that wants to get involved, hit me up.
I think we have some pictures of your Film Toy events.
Yes. I was in full Christmas unicorn mode.
I love that you've got, the Santa hat on with the pink hair, and I see your Filmcraft chairs, they're black chairs, but you've got the color of the seat, the canvas is like, holiday green and red.
Yes, we had a bunch of different chairs actually at this event, spread out. We had our Filmcraft Juniors, we had with some Mattel branding on them as well. and, our Film Toys logo. There it is.
Oh,
Yes.
that's so cute. And Snoopy.
Snoopy. We actually had so many people, including your producer Bex, come and lend their hand. This day, it was a toy pickup day. We gave out toys to 1,200 cars with families. And it was
it a drive up because of the pandemic, or?
Yes. So it was a drive up. We did the absolute most we could with decoration. We had people in costumes running up and bringing things to the cars. I had a musician friend of mine, Louis Matoyer. He came and played guitar. We had Marilyn from Broadway come and sing. I had the support of Christine Peak and Peak PR. She brought many of her friends around to help, and people literally jumped into costumes and jumped into the mode of, let's make this the best day ever for these families picking up toys. So it was absolutely wonderful. It made my Christmas.
That's so lovely. I know one year we were actually like in the hospital with my daughter on Christmas, and it was fine. Like, we were fine. She was just having some testing and stuff done, and it just had to happen then. But the firemen came through with the toys. I know it wasn't the Film Toys, but it was just like, I can't tell you how much that meant to us. So I'm sure like every family that drove up that day, we're just so grateful. And like, it's just that wonderful synergy of like, sharing the love and like, kind of making the world like a brighter place to live in, which I just love. I love that. So good. So thank you. Thank you for doing that and keeping it going. Cause I know whenever you're working in kind of the nonprofit arena, there's just a lot of hard work that has to go into something like that, and so you're not really doing it for any benefit to yourself. It's just putting like love out there. So well, yeah, I commend you for that.
Thank you. For me, I feel like you can really achieve anything when the goal is so good, and Children's Institute is so deserving of the support. I mean, they're helping kids that have been through traumas, foster children, teens. They have a fatherhood program. They help women with their careers. They're doing a lot for Los Angeles families. So for me, there's zero hesitation in devoting my time to that and to their other events. They do things year round that help their community. And of course, I want to be a part of that.
So when will you start work on Film Toys for the 2023 season?
Very soon. I should have already started is the answer to that question. Very, very soon. And I encourage anybody that wants to support, volunteer, have a bin at their place of business or studio, or have any ideas about fundraising or contributing to this, please do contact me.
That's great. We'll make sure we put the information for that in the show notes as well. So I don't know how you have also managed to squeeze this into your busy schedule, but you're also the director of programs at Women in Media.
I am. Filmcraft has actually been a sponsor of Women in Media since I very first started doing Filmcraft. It was the first organization I connected to. I absolutely love their mission. And today, if you go to my Instagram feed, you'll see I'm highlighting several things from them, including their executive director, was just won the award for Woman of the Year by the Los Angeles Commission. So they're really making strides. The fight is for parity and economic equity. And it's 40 to 60% women, every department, every crew, every show. And I'm a firm believer in what they're doing. They do trainings, networking, you name it, they're doing it. They're doing the real work. They're not just a face. And that's why I care about it so much. And I think it was sometime last year, I kind of took my volunteering to another level, found myself working on a lot of different committees. And that's how we went with director of programs for now, a title in working for volunteering.
So what programs are you working on?
So we have a lot of events coming up. We just did a utility loader training at B-Cine, a women-led camera house, with a first-time
Go back and say what utility loader is for people that might not know.
Utility and loader. Well, it's group training. So it's just for people to understand that are interested in utility and loader training. We had Local 600 union there with educators from there that were showing our members how to do all of that stuff. And we openly admit I'm not a utility loader person. Tema is not a utility loader person. So we got together a team called Level Up, the Camera Dream Team. And we brought everybody together to find out what are their needs, what do they want to achieve. And this certification was one of the very first things. So we got 50 women through there. About 60 to 70% took the certification test. And now those badges are present on the Women in Media crew list. And that's obviously one part of the multi-pronged approach of Women in Media. They have the crew list. They just launched the WIM Lounge. So I invite everybody to please go there. It's like a Facebook, but for women in media. So it has executive members, pro members, students. People are posting jobs, distribution, mentoring. If you have gear you want to sell, everything can happen on there.
That's so awesome. I love that. One of my questions was, why should people join Women in Media? And I think you just answered that. I don't know what the membership rate is right now, but I feel like it's under $100.
It is. The pro membership is $90 a year, and student membership is $45 a year.
And the thing that I love about organizations like Women in Media is they do try to, even during the pandemic, they were hosting like Zoom networking. And so while, I'm more of a, in front of the camera or, director type person, a writer director type person, but they really help women get like where you really see a discrepancy on film sets is people doing the lighting and grip or doing director photography. So there's a lot of these opportunities out there, and you'll often hear, oh, I just hired the people that I knew. But like if the people always on the set are always like, your buddy from the last project, then these female, camera operators don't necessarily get that. They don't have that connection. And so what this is doing is sort of building the connection and then helping them find work on these, film sets. And then when you are staffing up, you're like, oh, I worked with this great gal on this last project. And so it's really, phenomenal what they're doing. And I think it's very important.
Yeah, the networking is probably my favorite part of it. And just putting women in a room with other people in a position to hire and then watching them become the people in a position to hire is extraordinary. Doing things from that direction, from the bottom up instead of the top down, I think makes a huge difference. And, the trainings are amazing. For you, there is a writers group virtual event that will be coming up where we're going to have the folks from Writer Duet on there, and a lot of opportunities they're going to be presented. We've got a filtration event coming up at Sony on April 1st. So I encourage anybody that wants to learn about filtration. That's going to be a very small 30 person intimate class for that. And, keep your eyes on womeninmedia.com for all the upcoming events. There's Cinegear coming up in June, many exciting things.
And speaking of that, there was like a fun little holiday toast I think you were at. So I think we have a picture of one of these networking events. Yes. Oh, look how great. This is back when your hair was hot pink.
It'll be hot pink again.
And there you are with the Woman of the Year.
Yes, I'm there with Tema, the Woman of the Year. And in the middle is Derek Warburton, one of my dear friends who actually brought a lot of press with him to this event and some of his friends, and helped us get the word out about the legendary women we were honoring. It was an exceptional day. We had an auction. We were at TVC, Television City Studios. They're great sponsors for Women in Media in so many different ways, through illumination training and obviously this amazing event. And it was exciting to really highlight these amazing women. Every person that's honored by Women in Media is someone that deserves to be honored. They deserve to be recognized. And the Toastmasters that they themselves select are all equally amazing as well. So it was a wonderful room and a very inspiring day.
Well, since our theme today is kind of like women and women who inspire, I wondered, who has been your biggest mentor?
That's easy. It's definitely my mom was my biggest mentor in my life. She was one of the only, oh, I love that picture. She was one of the only women executives in the music industry in the 80s when she started. She was a trailblazer, fearless, brave, strong person. And I account a lot of what I am because of how she was in her life. And she left a gigantic legacy of love behind her. And I encourage everybody to think about things that way. When she passed away, people didn't talk about all the work she did. And there was plenty of the work that she did. They talked about how she impacted their lives, how she touched their hearts, and the love she brought into their world. So that's what I aim to be like as well for me.
I love that. That's so great. And that picture was so cute. Were you guys were at a trade show or something?
Yes, that's the National American Music Merchants trade show, which I've been going to since I was 5 years old. So many, many, many years. I was actually the first child ever allowed to attend that trade show. It's every January in Anaheim, and this year it's going to be in April due to the pandemic, but it's a blast. Very fun.
That's so cool. So I know you mentioned Derek, but I didn't know if you wanted to kind of just give him more, like tell people who might not know who he is and why you admire him.
Yeah, so Derek, I got connected to literally because of his philanthropy as well. He supports a lot of women in many ways. He has Mr. Warburton magazine, Gurus magazine, which came out to support women in media. Los Angeles Inquisitor is another magazine that he just came out with. And I'm just really proud to know somebody like him. He does everything with heart, and he cares about, in the same way I do, about promoting other people's stories, about making sure everyone has a voice and has their voice heard. And he does everything he can to amplify that voice. And I definitely want to give him a big shout out.
That's awesome. And then I know we also wanted to mention some other podcasts. And one of the podcasts on your list, I actually interviewed the host of the Script Supervisor podcast with Karen Ruby.
Yes. You know what? I think that podcast is so amazing that they're focusing on script supervisors and people could really learn about what they do. Because in most cases, people don't necessarily know that. And I think it's really inspiring, the women that she's had on there. I love Karen Ruby. She's a Women in Media member. That podcast is phenomenal. Another one is Samantha Henderson's new podcast that's coming out called The Creative Seat. And Lane Marie Williams, who I mentioned earlier, she has a podcast called The Walkie Check. So everybody go follow them on media.
I don't think I'm following that one yet. I'm going to have to go check that out. That sounds awesome. And I also wanted to bring up, you had mentioned Pop Drop, and we actually have a photo of your Pop Drop with film toys. And I thought maybe you could talk a little bit about the Givefluencer Network.
Yes. So Project Pop Drop was started by Nikki and John Snyder, and she's the mother of triplets and another older child. They have their hands full all the time. And what they do every month at the last Saturday of the month, they do a pop drop, and they connect to many different nonprofits. They bring food to feed the homeless, supplies, you name it, they're doing it. They've gotten tiny homes. They're really tackling homelessness at large. And they started the Givefluencer Network, which is how I connected to them to begin with, which is teaching business owners, influencers, even LAUSD, they go and talk at those schools to teach the kids how to use their influence, how to use their businesses to do good in the world. And they're making a gigantic impact. I'm really, really proud to know them. They've got a podcast coming out soon as well, the Project Pop Drop podcast. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But very easy to get involved and support. I'm sure you see them on my feed. And they welcome any help from anyone that's interested in tackling what is, I think, one of the biggest problems we have in the United States, which is homelessness and making sure people are fed. And they actually do this across the United States, not just here.
I love that. Well, keeping with our little theme of shouting out other organizations, I also had a little shout out for this organization called She Is Hope LA. I don't know if you've heard of them before, but it stands for Single Moms Housing and Empowerment, Inspiring Self-Confidence Through Hope, Opportunity, Perseverance, and Education in Los Angeles. So I know they also do little events, and so they're a great organization if you are looking for another way to reach out and support. And they're local to LA, but if you're outside of LA, I'm sure you can look at one of these other organizations or get involved in your own way. So
I actually know of them because Project Pop Drop did a pop drop.
No way, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah. I love
They're
that.
They're a great organization. They're an amazing organization.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I just so enjoyed having you on the show today. I don't know if you have any other pearls of wisdom you wanted to drop on us today, but
well, I mean, I would, it's International Women's Day. So my message today is the same as every day, which is just, remembering that all of us are worthy. We deserve equal rights, equal pay, equity in everything we do, and respect and acknowledgement in whatever industry you're in. And if you're not getting it, fight for it.
Wow, that was great. I don't think I could have said that any better. So just thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so happy you were able to be here.
Well, thank you. I'm the one that's really grateful to be here. I've enjoyed getting to know you over the past few years. You've got an amazing team here. And I love this podcast, Filmcraft. Love supporting this podcast. And I know your future is incredibly bright. So thank you so much for having me here.
Well, thank you. And I'll drop all this information in our show notes. And you guys can keep up with Rachel on Instagram. Just go to @FilmcraftLA. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show. We hope you loved it. If you did, make sure you're subscribed, tell your friends about it, and why not write us a review? If you know someone that would make a great guest on our show, drop us a line. You can find us on Instagram @ThunderTally, or go to our website, thundertally.com. This show was produced by Bex Francis, edited by me, Erin Neumeyer. The music was performed and written by Dylan Neumeyer. And our sponsor is Filmcraft LA, so make sure you go check them out. This has been a Thunder Tally Media